In this video, what I'm planning to share with you is 6 things. I'm gonna share how many hours of flight time I have and what that looks like for me as a student pilot. I'm gonna talk about what are some of the maneuvers that we've been learning until now. I'm also gonna talk about what studying has looked like for me in terms of preparing for my next stage check and my check ride. We can also talk about challenges that I faced, how I feel about my progress until now, and finally, what are my goals moving forward? Let's talk about flight hours. I'm now at 25 hours of flight time, and these had been all dual instruction with Eddie Alvizar. And he's ex-military, he's super disciplined, he's very focused in our lessons, and I couldn't ask for a better instructor. Now that I've reached 25 hours of flight time, the first big milestone that I want to share is that I've recently passed my first stage check. A stage check is essentially a knowledge and proficiency check which happens with a stage check instructor. The first time that I was scheduled to do my stage check, we were about to move off in the airplane and we checked ATIS one more time and realized that it was too windy to fly. It was gusting 26 knots, which was beyond our personal limits for a safe flight. So we decided to shut down the engine and come back and do the stage check another day. My second stage check was with a different stage check instructor, and since I'd already completed the ground and knowledge portion of the stage check, we moved off to pre-flighting the aircraft and doing the flying assessment. It also happened to be a windy day, so it was really good for testing my wind correction, and overall I flew the airplane really well, and I'm super happy to say that I passed with flying colors. When it comes to ground school, the way that it works at my flight school McAir is that we do it through online self-study. So I wanted to give you an idea of how far I've progressed through my flight training. As you can see here, I'm making my way through the course pretty well, and I've fully completed the learning your airplane and improving control modules. And I'm now working my way through the takeoff and landing modules, which is exactly where I'm at in my flight training. I also got carried away and went through the entire solo flight module, and I've been working my way through the night landings because I just want to stay ahead of what's to come. I do like that this is self-learning, and I can always come back and reference these lessons anytime I feel like I need to. Even though my check ride is still many months away, my school requires that I have certain knowledge minimums, and so I do stay on top of learning, but sometimes learning in the self-learning platform tends to get a little bit boring. The main way that I study right now is through these private pilot flashcards, which I bought from Airplane Academy. These flashcards cover everything that I'll need to know during my check ride, but if I want to know and learn about anything in more detail, then I can always just look it up. I'll put Charlie's YouTube channel link and his website down below, so if you want to, you can go ahead and purchase these set of flashcards to help you with your studying. When it comes to studying, my focus right now is just to build a really good foundation so that I can continue to learn and apply more knowledge and go deeper and be more technical in some of the aspects of flight training. Now, maneuvers can either be the most boring part of flight training or the most challenging and intense part of flight training. And in the first stage, the maneuvers that we're required to know tend to be pretty monotonous, but they're essential to our flight training. All in all, the maneuvers that I've learned until now are takeoffs, slow flight, power on stalls, power off stalls, straight and level flight, steep turns, S-turns across a road, flying a rectangular course, and doing a steep spiral. It's been a lot to learn, but each one of these maneuvers builds on the other, and it helps me to improve my skills as a pilot. In terms of challenges, there's really only been 2 challenges these past 2 months. That is the change of an instructor, which has led to decreased flight time because of the transitioning period where I wasn't flying while waiting for my first flight lesson to start with a new instructor. The other challenge for me has been consistency. I usually book only 2 flight lessons a week, and with the weather being really unpredictable right now, if the weather didn't cooperate on the 2 days where I have my flight training booked, I ended up not flying for an entire week. And this sometimes went on for weeks at a time. I was also completing my MBA at the University of Colorado. The good news is that now I've graduated with my MBA. This has freed up a lot of time, and I can now schedule flight trainings 3 times a week. This should really help with the consistency of my flight training, especially because I'm flying in the early morning hours where the weather tends to be a little bit better. Looking back at my progress compared to what I envisioned, I'm really happy with the way my flight training is going. I feel like I'm grasping the concepts and flying the airplane really well. I definitely noticed a significant jump in my learning during the 1 week where I was able to fly 3 times. This really reinforces the idea that more consistent training leads to much quicker progress. However, if I'm being completely honest, I expected to be further in my flight training in terms of flight hours. I was perhaps hoping to be around the 40 hours of flight time at this point. The biggest factor in that difference has definitely been the weather. The weather here has been really unpredictable for the past couple of months. It's been raining, it's been windy, the clouds come over within a matter of hours, and so you always have to stay on top of the weather, which sometimes means that all my lessons and all my bookings each week get canceled and I don't end up flying for weeks at a time. I really expect it to be further in my journey right now, but with this sort of unpredictability, it's always better to be safe and just stay focused on making up those hours in the weeks that you can fly. And that's exactly what I've been doing. Now that my MBA is complete, my main goal is to consistently fly 3 times per week. I'm really looking forward to practicing landings and building on the skills that I've learned so far. On the ground, my main focus will be to continue to learn by studying my private pilot flashcards. I just want to continue to build a strong foundation that will complement my flying lessons. So this wraps up my 25-hour update on my private pilot's license journey. As always, if you guys liked the video, please smash that like button, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about my journey so far. If you're an interested student pilot, let me know if you have any questions and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.